It's another video from me. It's about 8:30. It's just I cannot tell you if any of you have not lived in the desert. We have what's called a dry heat, and the lack of humidity is awesome. But when it rains, and this time when we're getting a rain, we're getting a light breeze, not the crazy cycle breezes we usually get. So it's maybe 70 degrees, light breeze, got all the windows open. It's just fantastic. Now, I'm going to talk about politics. And I don't usually talk about politics, but I think um, this coming November and the next 2 years is going to be a critical, um, we're going to have to make some critical decisions in regards to which way our country's going. My lifelong political affiliation was what would be called a moderate centrist. I would sit in the middle, and if I like something from the left, like a social program, or I like something about the Second Amendment from the right side, I would pick and choose what I wanted to, and I would always, in my opinion, make my decision based upon the best candidate. Um, I voted for the Green Party. I voted Libertarian. But I've never actually voted Republican. But over the last few years, I have seen the left leaning political people, the Democrats, go so far left and to let some of these people under their tent, the DSA, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, all these different fringe groups, the John Brown Society, ACAB, that means all cops are bastards, defund the police, uh, critical race theories, telling me simply because of the color of my skin I'm somehow guilty of something and I owe you something. No, that's not how life works. The left has moved. The Democrats and the left have moved so far to the left with insane policies. For example, climate change. Do you know what's happening now in Germany? They're firing up their coal operated electricity plants because they're in for a fucking heavy, hard winter because the Nord Stream pipeline was shut off by the Russians. Over 30 days ago, they said, well, in 10 days, we're going to turn it back on. Yeah, they're not ever turning that back on. Anyways, it's just that you know what, you wake up one day and you're like, well, they're burning towns down. San Francisco has all but legalized shoplifting. Um, just the homeless, the insanity, the duplicity. You know what? You know what? I know the world's corrupt. And I'm not telling you life's not fair and stuff like that. But all I did, and I'm still a moderate centrist, but the left has moved so far to the left into loony insanity that just by me staying here, and they moved that so far to the left, I ended up on the right. Um, I believe in family. I believe in freedom of speech. I believe in the right to bear arms. I believe that I don't have anything to say about what you do in your private life, and you don't have anything to say to mine, but you better stay the fuck away from our kids. I'll say that again. I don't have anything to say about what you do in your personal life, but you better stay away from our children. Stop trying to indoctrinate our children. Stop giving them sexually explicit books in the public libraries. I mean, come on now. That's just, yeah. Anyways. Um, yeah, so I ended up being on the right, and I went here in El Paso, Democrats outnumber Republicans probably 3, almost 4 to 1. And I go to the one of the events held by the Democratic National Committee, and it's insane. The insanity of the things that I don't identify with them. And I got called, you get called a racist, I'm part of the fucking patriarchy. I'm some sort of a fucking evil bastard because of the color of my skin, and and they don't fucking know you at all. And these are some of them are actually white young people telling me this. Anyway, let me just fucking stop. So then I'm like, you know what? Fuck, that sucked. And I go back and I get an invite. One of my friends, he's a police officer. He says, hey, why don't you come with me? We're going to go see a RNC thing. And I was like, you know. So I went, and they were like, hey, how are you? Da, 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 da. And I was like, look, I'm a moderate centrist. they were like, okay, dude, that's okay. So anyways, all that to say, we talked about, we just talked like adults to each other. No one's yelling at anybody else. No one was yelling the word fascist or Nazi and so I registered as a Republican, and I probably will vote Republican until the Republicans prove that they've lost their mind. Again, I'm not guilty of anything I didn't do. And collective guilt, you can go screw yourself about your collective guilt. My kids are mixed. My first wife was African American. My wife now is an Apache Mexican American. So I don't fucking want to hear about your shit. I didn't do anything to you. Don't judge me if you don't want to be judged. And stop using emotions to try to prove a point. That's not how the real world works. Again, I don't have to participate in your delusions, and I'm not guilty of anything I didn't do. So it is what it is. I think this coming November, will be a midway tipping point. And here I got to tell you, I got to be honest. I have a beef. My beef is with Donald Trump. Now, I'm a veteran, and I'm going to just say it. And if it makes me an asshole, then I'm an asshole. Donald Trump took 5 deferments while he was in college for heel spurs, so that all the rest of us poor bastards had to get drafted and sent over to Vietnam. Now, he took 5 fucking deferments during a war. All the while he played tennis and golf in college, with this horrible heel spurs. So that, to me, that's, I'm not a fan. Do I think he did an okay job? Yes. Will I have a hard time voting for him? Yes. One of the 2 younger guys I like personally is Ron DeSantis. He was a former SEAL, Team 5, veteran, family guy, has children. I think he's painfully logical and honest. Another guy, I can't remember if it's Minnesota or Idaho or Iowa or something like that. His name is Josh Hawley, Hawley. I think his name is Josh Hawley. I think he makes a lot of sense. God, I can't remember the guy's name in Texas. He also was a I can't remember his name to save my life. He was running for governor. Anyways, but if I have to choose between Beto O'Rourke, Mr. I'm gonna come take all your weapons, or Greg Abbott here in Texas, you're out of your fucking mind. Beto O'Rourke is a moron. Anyways, so it is what it is. This is probably way longer than it should have been. I believe, and I suggest, I'm not telling you to do anything. I suggest you, as young men, get involved somewhat in politics No matter what, promise me you'll vote. I don't care if it's for dog catcher or whatever else. Promise me you'll try to pay attention and vote. It's way more important than you think. All right? Stay safe and healthy. Take care of each other if you can. If you can't, take care of yourself. From West Texas, El Paso, like a fart in a G string, I'm out of here. Bye bye.